Yeshavloi ad Masei HaKohen HaGadol. The Arei Fishbain. So he has to go in to Arei Miklat ad Masei HaKohen HaGadol until the Kohen HaGadol leaves this world. What's the shaykhis? What's the pshat? You say that it's totally, it depends on, until the Kohen Gadol leaves this world, that's how long his sentence is. The Rabbi says like this, that the Arei Miklat was a long neshama. He had to run there to save himself from the Goel Adam. His life was in danger. The Goel Adam was so furious that he wanted his ben mishpacha, and his life was taken, even though B'shoigeg. So he's after to see Mekame from the Refuge B'shoigeg. So he said that what's his ben the Mekame is there only unless something much greater overshadows his own personal grief and sorrow and aveilus. The Kohen HaGadol, the Kohen HaDor, Kohen HaGadol. So when he leaves this world, so it touches, and the sorrow and aveilus is so omuk by each and every yid that it overshadows his own personal tragedy. What's that? Why did they send why did they send him to Arei Miklat, which was in Shevet Levi? What was special about Shevet Levi different than all the other shvatim? We know that. So even though it was the even though it was the Shoigeg, the Shira Government, the Chazal say, Megalgim Schus HYD Zakai, the Choiv HYD Chayo. So the Masei, there was, and through him came about Shira Government. So the difference, Mahazel, between the secular world, the Goyish world, and the Turkish world, I saw the bunny for him, how they deal with someone who committed a crime. In the secular world, a criminal, a ganef or a seach, they send him, where they send him, with other ganef, murder him, other criminals. So whatever he was missing until now, to be a finished criminal, to come out with a diplomat. We have that on the Zecher Nishmas. I tell you, the shul that speak Quentzel. As of back in 1980, he was murdered by two goyim. Until a year and a half ago, the murder remained unsolved for almost over 30 years. So how did they finally catch the murderers? They had evidence, and they had what they called forensic experts. They chose specimens of a person's blood, which is reflected in your saliva. They had cigarettes that they picked up in the van that was abandoned for the rest left over. But the forensic techniques were not that developed in those years, some 30 years ago. But they had a shot who the two were. But they needed more than that. They needed more conclusive evidence. One of them, and they finally realized why they couldn't find them, to question them, because both were sitting in jail already. So one was sitting in the jail in somewhere, a place in California, and one somewhere up in New York State, Sing Sing, I think. So they took and put them both together in one cell, and they wired the cell, and and there they met their buddies, old buddies. They started discussing all time. Oh, how they, whatever they accomplished, they were so proud of themselves. And they spilled the beans. So you send someone, a criminal, you send him to jail to get other criminals, he'll go only downhill. The Tzedek Beisha, I sure understood that a Tzeach, a Ganef, and Tzeach, he committed Yisichet because he was missing, he was not exposed to Siva of Torah and Dusha mitzvahs. Shevet Levi was the Pnim, was the Smetne of Klal Yisrael. The Gdol of Klal Yisrael, the Sodom, was in Shevet Levi. So, the news of Klal Yisrael. So they sent him especially to that kind of a Shevet, that kind of a Siva, that he's able, from this Siva, he's going to mile the Mola, and this will bring him to do tshuva, and whatever Shviragam on his hand will have a kapor. Also, I want to welcome Adyonim from Masei. The Seder is like this: you shakas we daven at 8 o'clock, and there's always donuts and coffee shakas in the morning. Welcome. Tonight, Ben Akash Oimer, Ratzach Oimer Zaki says Yisrael. The people who live there in Mitzvah, Shinama Adonai Chavei Masei Koi Yadnu Torah. About